wanted to do a video for authors because for the last couple of videos, I've been speaking to my fellow writers because I love you all so. But this channel is also designed for individuals who want to get into authorship. So this video will be in particular for you. So if this seems of interest to you, then definitely stick around for this video, like it, subscribe to the channel if you like this content. I talk about all things writing. And then also after you've watched this content and you got something from it, share it with a friend. So do those things for me and then we'll get started momentarily. Thank you so much. I'm assuming y'all did it. So let's go ahead and get into the topic of this video. Earlier today, I had an amazing interview with Brian J. Olds. He is the founder of the Black Speakers Network, and he wanted to just do a video talking about ghostwriting because it's such an enigma for a lot of people. And so we sat down and we dispelled a whole bunch of myths. It was such a good interview. I will put the link for the interview underneath this video so you can check it out in your free time. But this video in particular, I want to talk about what to look out for when you are wanting to employ or hire a ghostwriter. I'm not too sure if I've done a video like this before because literally I do have a content calendar, but sometimes I get the mood and I want to just speak on a particular topic, and this topic was something that I wanted to talk about because especially since a lot of people are doing some content with AI, content generation, I want to make sure that you're working with the right professional who works with AI. See, I'm not one of those writers that's against AI, but I want it to be done well, and I want you all to be taken care of with the content that is rendered on your behalf. So let's just jump right on into it. We'll start there actually. So when it comes to finding yourself a ghostwriter, you want to ask them a couple of things. Number one, you want to ask them how they work. What is their process? Now, don't expect them to tell you the deep details because it'll be over your head, right? Because you are the author, you're not the ghostwriter. But you do need to figure out how much they rely on AI or how much they rely on their God-given talent and their expertise that they've secured over time in their education. So you want to make sure you understand how this person works, because if you two don't work on the same page, or if they give you content that you don't like and you've already put down a deposit, it becomes a mess. So you want to make sure you properly vet the ghostwriter that you will be working with. For instance, I always have a 15-minute call just to ascertain and figure out if the client is a good fit to work with me. I'm not for everybody, and everybody isn't for me. Everyone will not be my client. But in that 15-minute meeting, I figure it out pretty quickly, and so does the client. Like if they're just wanting to talk about this book, like this woman got me on the phone. She was so excited. She was like, "Hey, I have a book of poetry." I was like, "Good, tell me about it." "Well, I was hoping you could tell me." No, that's not how that works. You got to come to me with something so I can make something for you. So essentially, the 15 minutes weeds out the serious people from the people who are just kicking tires and just want to know more about ghostwriting. I make content for them to learn more about ghostwriting. If you get time with me, let's talk shop. Let's talk about the possibility of you really birthing and creating a book. So just how I have the standards for the clients that I work with, you should have the same standards for your ghostwriter. And if they get past the initial consultation with you, that means that you like them and you all will be working together. You've definitely got to ask a couple questions. Number one is, what's that process looking like? How do you work? How quickly do you work? Is this something that you are passionate about? If they're not passionate about crafting your story, helping you craft your story and being in the background, then that's not the ghostwriter for you. And they maybe shouldn't be a ghostwriter because it really is a background role. All these questions are ones that you can definitely ask and figure out if that person is a good fit for you. Secondly, you want to ask them, what does their team look like outside of their process? So for instance, they may have different people looking at your book. They may have different eyes, like editors, copy editors, anyone that they may be paying from the money that you're giving them to help create their project. But you still need to know who those people are and kind of what their capacity is, and also importantly, ask if those people are under an NDA, because they are essentially going to be, seeing your work and your ideology. So you want to make sure it's protected. You always want to make sure you protect your IP. Next, you want to ask the prospective ghostwriter how they'll be storing your content. Will they be using a Google Drive? Will there be a backup? Because horror stories have happened. You've worked with people People have worked with ghostwriters, I should say, and then unfortunately somehow content is lost. Where's the backup? I back up. I have my Microsoft Word file, and then I have a Google Drive, and then I have an external hard drive where I keep my copy and my content when I'm working on someone's book. Ask your prospective ghostwriter what they have in place, because writing a book is going to be an investment of your time, investment of your money. So you want to make sure that you're working with a top-notch professional. So getting back to the main point of number 2, make sure that you know their team. Who are these folks? Next, you want to make sure that your prospective ghostwriter has a plan and a vision. You've met with this ghostwriter for the 15 minutes initial assessment. Then you've had the next meeting where you kind of go over the meats and potatoes of your project, and you've signed an NDA, and they've given you an outline. Everything is looking good. If they don't come back to you within a week or two with a plan to get you to your publication of your book, they're not quite experienced yet, and you're going to have to ask for it. And that's no problem because everybody's learning, but you've got to have someone who knows how to project manage. And I was talking about it today with Brian in the interview. Think about the end in mind and then reverse engineer a schedule for the publication of your book. Because when someone works for me, we're not just doing this for fun and just to have good conversations. No, I'm trying to get you to the road to publication. I want you to have your book published. That is my main goal. My optimal goal is to have you with your book published. So you want to ensure that they have some sort of framework and some sort of schedule to get you to that road of publication. And if there isn't one in place, if they don't present it to you a week or two after giving, well, actually, when giving you your outline, or give them grace, maybe a week, then definitely follow up on that and ask to have one made for you, because so many things happen. I remember I was writing someone's book, and I've said this before. I had to have a surgery. Then they actually had to have surgery. So many things can happen when you're writing a book that you've got to make sure that you buffer enough time to have coverage in the event that some things do happen. So that's that. And then next, I think we're probably at number 4 or 5. I've lost count, but we're making headway. We're going to keep on going. You want to determine that this, or you should determine if this person is someone who has any experience in marketing, because I personally don't like to give someone a manuscript and then say, peace, take care of yourself. No, I want to help them have some content strategy so they can have an audience who's ready and willing to receive their work once it's completed. So you could have a ghostwriter who, within their tiered packages and plans, can have that in one of their tiers. They're going to help you with your marketing to make sure that you're not just launching to crickets. So you want to make sure that you have a nice full-bodied, experienced ghostwriter who can definitely help get you to the finish line of your project. Okay, since I'm doing this completely off the top of my head, I'm going to take a second and think if there's anything else that I want to include. Yes, I got it. In your search for a good ghostwriter, you want to ask them what happens to your project and your manuscript after it's completed. Like, do you get a copy of it? Do they keep a copy of it? Do they delete the copy? You just want to ask. You just want to make sure that your IP, intellectual property, isn't out there floating somewhere. So that's just a minor little detail that you can just tighten up with your ghostwriter as the time occurs. Like once you've finished the project, then you can definitely touch bases with them on that. Oh, and one more point that bears mentioning, and it should have been maybe mentioned at the top because arguably this is one of the most important things. You want to make sure that the legality piece of you working with said ghostwriter is tight. So I don't know if you would have an lawyer on retainer, but I would suggest that you have a lawyer look over the contracts and the agreements that you receive from the ghostwriter, because it's just going to be super important for you two to be on the same page, because so many things can go awry and get lost in translation. But when you have a contract, you have something in the good old black and white, it's less likely to happen. So just make sure that you have yourself covered with regards to all of your bases through a legal contract or agreement. So literally, I just want to hop on here and share that information based off the chat that I had with Brian J. Olds from the Black Speaker Network. And again, I am happy to place the link to the video of our interview in the description of this video, so that way you can check it out as well. Thank you so much for rocking with me. And if you didn't already, please subscribe. It helps me understand that there's a need for my video and my voice on these YouTube streets. And also, it just helps me know that I'm not just speaking to someone, or I'm not just speaking in a void. So thank you again for sticking with me. And I appreciate the 5 people, and I think it's growing to at least 7, who consistently watch my videos. And I will see you all in the upload. Thank you so much.